Resources Park over there in Perth, of course. It's quarter time there, and we just had a little bit of delay on the last game. So we are bringing this from quarter time. So it should be a pretty good game in itself. Daisy Pearce's West Coast Eagles absolutely on fire this season. So it should be good. Just have a look at the stats for quarter time. Ella Roberts there leading the way for the Eagles on 11 disposals. 10 kicks, 1 handball, 6 marks. She kicked a goal. Isabel Lewis on 7 disposals. Abby Dorick best for Port Adelaide on 6. There we go. Let me just roll down here. And as soon as the commentators come back for the second quarter, we're going to take you straight down boundary side. I think we're just about ready to cross over there. Let's head down to the commentators and they'll take us into the second quarter.
Starting first term, warm conditions over in the west, and it's the Eagles who have made the hot start. Bella Lewis, particularly Ella Roberts, dominating in that first quarter. She kicked a goal, gave one off, had it a stack of times as well. We'll talk certainly about her performance so far, but it is the Eagles who lead it 3-1-19 to Port Adelaide, no score. Port have had some opportunities going inside 50, but just haven't had the connection going so far. But Lee Spur and Nikki Harwood, Ella Roberts has certainly been the player to talk about. She dominated that opening quarter.
Oh, what more can you say about her? I mean, she's just been sensational. She's been working hard off a back line, or down in the back line, I should say, transitioning the ball forward and then able to go forward as well to take marks, kick goals. She can just do everything, can't she, Sperry?
Well, they're looking for her as well. You sort of see they're waiting for her to drift forward a little bit because she's marking absolutely unbelievably well. 4 contested marks already, 6 marks in total. And West Coast actually dominating Port in the marks, 20-5. So Port aren't even getting the chance to even get their own ball and get their own game going.
Well, let's get down to Bonnie Rayner, who's with Daisy Pearce.
I am, perhaps, Daisy, an electric start from your troops. Outside of Ella Roberts, which aspect impressed you most?
Got given Ella's cup and Georgie's icy pole wrapper, so that's about all I'm doing. No, Ella was outstanding, and especially, I mean, looks like they're putting a bit of time into them as we expect, but just her ability to work really hard and keep impacting was unreal. And I think the biggest thing was just, we know they're a really good contested side and their pressure, but we were able to sort of match them in that area and then get some good looks going back the other way.
And expecting a strong response now after they were scoreless at the first break. What was your message to sort of counteract what could be coming?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're the best pressure side in the comp, so we know that they're going to throw everything at us now, but just our decision making of when to just take the ball forward quickly and when to look to create. So yeah, that's what we'll be looking for.
They'll let you get back in the box. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Daisy Pearce there can do it all. Coaching, clean-up duty, bit of everything. The Daisy, what an impact she's made in a short space of time to West Coast. Who've been one of the easy beats in the competition up till this point. Well, they've certainly made a huge jump this season, and we're underway, of course, in this second quarter. Bushby able to get it out. Goranova goes back in. Terrific tackle, and holding the ball will be the call. So you wait to see that pressure, that work at the contest from Port Adelaide to rise in this second term.
Yeah, great pressure there by Scholes as well for such a tall player to get down that low and get the free kick.
Going long again. I picked one of those tall targets. Thomas will not pay the mark. Thought she'd brought it to ground. The crowd certainly did. Drennan to Swanson, and Roberts, that outlet.
She read that so well because Goody's tagging her. So I'm watching this now. Goody is just going to trying to wear like a shadow. And Ella Roberts just ran a box formation to get away from Goody there. And as soon as the ball was kicked, led up at it. She just got that separation by doing a box.
Mark there, dropped by Rue. Just still settling into her new colours at West Coast. Injured a finger a few weeks ago, which sort of kept her out of the side. So still working through that issue. Only a high-marking player, Western. Tackled by Jermack. We'll get a ball up. Will be looking to fight their way back into it. Lewis has been busy at the stoppages. Just missed with the handball. Scholes goes again. Another high ball in. Teakle's there. Schilling. Hands to it. Brought down. Mills Robinson just took that extra little half step to swing it goalward. Zoe Wakefer. Terrific mark on the line.
Good mark and a little pressure as well. But a great little pump fake as well. A little dummy pump fake. Just gave her that time and space and enough room to have that snap and always kick a goal.
Wakefer goes out to half back. Not too bad for Daisy Pearce to have the two sisters at either end of the ground. Lewis slips over though, and will be in trouble now. Hammond with a good tackle, wins it back for Port. Now she can roll and go. Again, it's a really high ball in. Wanting Houghton, tried to nudge Schilling underneath with it. Cleaver is tackled. We'll get a ball up. Houghton in there, just niggling away a touch.
Well, don't they look like they're persisting with the high ball coming inside 50, Sperry, and at the moment it's not working for them, but I think they're going to persist with it.
Same in the ruck against Lions.
It's that long bomb, but you've got to have long bombed isolated one-on-one. That gives, Houghton a chance to really wrestle and get an advantage. When you're kicking it to a pack of players in a long bomb and form, it makes it difficult to get advantage of that height. The Saints got a height advantage as well up there, so they just need to get a bit of separation and get it to one-on-ones with the long bombs.
Free kick paid to Maloney. Concerned about the distance. Houghton on the lead, made a break, and they found the target in the pocket. Houghton paid it. Juggled it a touch as she crossed the line, but it's very, very wide. Certainly within her skill set to kick it from here. Saw one from a tight angle in the opposite pocket. Gemma Houghton, she steps out, snaps goal, and lobbed it off the boots. Houghton strikes for the power to start the second term.
And that was a better forward 50 entry, even though it was to the pocket. Like, who cares? Like, if it's within her range, so Houghton can kick these from anywhere, as we know. And there was no issue with that because they held possession in the forward line. Houghton takes the mark. I kind of expected her to play on straight away, but she was really calculated in her approach.
And Georgie Cleaver looked a little bit upset there, but if you're forcing them wide to the boundary, and that's where they're going to have all their shots from, you've done a pretty good job.
Former Docker, Gemma Houghton, made the switch when the power came into the competition. Coming into this game, she had played 66 matches, kicked 66 goals and 66 behinds. So nice. Got rid of that for me for the moment anyway. That's a weird stat as she continues on her brilliant career. And it's out of the middle. It's Dowrick sends it in. That's over the head of Houghton. And it goes wide and out of play.
See how they set up here, Port. You want to see have some space in the back of the contest. So you want to try to put a big hole in the back of the contest, and you want to Houghton or someone bursting through with speed.
She might come through from the top.
The run.
Wrestles with Lyons, spills out the back. Neither of them got at it. Dowrick dangerous there. Drennan, the clean pick up back to Lyons. Kick was smothered. Dowrick goes again. Gets it away to Brooksby. High ball lands in the hot spot. Houghton crashed in. Zoe Wakefield did well to stand underneath it. Now Schilling. Wrapped up by Teakle, and Port just able to keep it locked inside their forward 50.
I love Port's intensity. You can just feel the lift in them. They seem like they're working harder and they've got a lot more urgency.
Lions clean in the ruck, down. Get a ball up again. Wendland couldn't get clear.
And we just saw before as well, when they put the ball to a player's advantage in their forward line, they get goals out of it. So do more of that.
Up to ruck now. Was it over the shoulder? It was. And they create the opportunity, and it's Gemma Houghton again making the play.
Give him a bit of energy here, Houghton. Taking the ruck. Did that big crashing launch. Even though she didn't actually get a hand on the ball or didn't make an impact, just that contest, the launch and crash the pack, just sends a message, a bit of tone to the team. Lifted intensity and work rate.
Lions a bit unlucky with just the height difference there in the ruck in the end, but did go over the shoulder. Port going almost right back into it. It's away to the right-hand side. She'll be disappointed to miss that.
That's a particular one from the pocket. That was a really tough kick from the pocket.
She's one of those players, though, that is better from a pocket situation to not think about it than straight in front.
Keeping on track now, 67 games, 67 goals and 67 behinds. Lewis wanted a 50.
Yeah, probably should have been. She was the man on the mark. She did a crab walk and stopped the runner coming. Tommy, unlucky not to get it there.
So too much of it to Hammond. Eagles have the extra number. Cleaver. It's not precise with the pickup. And again, Port Adelaide keep it about on their 50.
Port Adelaide definitely up their pressure. They're now getting first hands to the footy. They're getting in and under and really driving forward.
Well, the tackles have evened up now as well, 21 apiece, even though West Coast is still in front, considerably disposed with almost 20 more.
Went through there from Scholes. Good kick forward. Houghton again at ground level. Cleaver, Wakefield down there. It's the Eagles' turn to be under the pump in defence, and cleverly let roll by Goody there, because you could see it was just going to clear the 50, so it becomes a lasso free kick. And now she can pump it back into the pocket, out with many to beat. Zoe Wakefield down there, Wendland away. Mills Robinson couldn't hang on to it. Drennan went in hard, high tackle, free kick to the Eagles in defence.
Daisy Pearce might need to put a message out here. Ella Roberts has been playing up forward for the last 7 minutes. She just probably needs to just tell her to get back on the ball, because Port's intensity is literally get her around the contest instead of playing forward.
Drennan out of defence. Rue, hands to it. Scholes will send it back in. Stewart trying to nudge Drennan underneath. Zoe Wakefield again attacking it well. Another one of the Eagles players just growing in confidence this season. It's out to Brick, slipping over was Wrench. Time to recover, but the ball rolls end on end and just touched inside the field of play. Again, good awareness, not allowing the lasso free kick. Wrench up and just get there in the nick of time.
Wrench had just come on the ground and she was calling for her to play before that as well.
Fell over at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Midway through this second term. Port have lifted. Now putting the home team under the pump. Did good at the stoppages. Shots. Nice hit out down the window, but it'll be ball up. Shoals again. Drennan tackled by Saints. Eagles undefeated on the road this season. Their 2 losses so far have both come at their home ground. The last 2 home matches here. They beat the Tigers back in round 1. 1 point victory that night.
West Coast playing with those 4 forwards and just keeping an extra forward up at the contest, just trying to get some space.
Rushing through was Harkin. Lots of bodies around the footy. Battling against 3 or 4 there was Harkin. Did really well to lock it in. Outnumbered Jamie Harkin, who's enjoying her opportunity after coming on as an injury replacement player, been a star in the Waffle W for a number of years. Weston on the boot. And Rue holds on to that one.
Good strength. Just nudged that player out of the drop zone.
Now the Eagles with a well-placed kick can go inside 50. It's to the path of Weston. The shot at goal was just put off by the tackle. And it goes wide. It'll be a boundary throw in deep in attacking 50 for West Coast.
Great chase there. Weston's seriously fast, but just stuck at the chase and just enough, got a fingernail in it, just enough to affect the kick. Otherwise, I think she would have put that straight through.
He was first inside 50 this second term. Warren Wakefield in the ruck against Scholes. Down to the pocket. Lewis. Goody with the tackle. Simmons feed it back in to Drennan and kick up towards Smith, but just too much strength back there. Brooksby able to complete a good mark in defence for the power. And a nice kick too out towards Foley.
Great work there by Foley. Ella Roberts was on her and she was just caught her ball watching a bit, and she sprinted out to the open side, and that ball watch opened up a little 5-metre gap and Ella just couldn't close it.
And Foley, plenty of experience, couple of flags with the Crows. Vicky knocks the ball on for Port Adelaide. Out and up to meet it, bounced off her own teammate, and away she goes. Open forward line from outside 50. Looks away too far. Needed a kind bounce. You might just get it for a boundary throw in. It will roll over the line. So not a bad result for Port Adelaide. Didn't have anything ahead, Gemma Hout, but her work rate and output has lifted in this second term.
And as we can see, when she gets space, she just can turn, can't she, and go, and she just creates a real spark for Port Adelaide.
Swanson, good hands away from the stoppage. Wrench trying to find it down low. Cross to Schilling. Out to half back. Rue was there. Lewis kept it in play. Simmons, Lewis, flirting with the boundary. Kept it in, but Port will pinch it back. O'Day with a high ball to the pocket. Teakle camped underneath it. Wrench with the stretch. Pope. Stolen back almost. Simmons was there. Kick in towards Hout. Cleaver the spoil. Now Saint, what can she do at ground level? Zoe Wakefield's got her. And holding the ball to call. A quick whistle. Looked like she almost got the handball away. And Zoe Wakefoot playing a really important hand down in defence.
Yeah, great pressure at both ends as well. You know, the Eagles are really tackling, pressuring well, and on the flip side, Port Adelaide are also.
Wait for wide, big collision, bodies go in. It's back inside 50 for the power. Cleaver the spoil. Wake for again. Lost it. Dowrick over the top Saint. Port Adelaide loading up. She had some room in the inside to pull the trigger. It spills away. Teagle snap. Schilling. An important smother. That looked like it was going to be sailing through the goals. There's Schilling back there. Had to make some contact and did ever so well. Did really well. Kept her eye on. Get the arms up. Good crowd in. Saturday afternoon footy. A little unlucky for Mills Robinson there. The reverse Falcon might turn into a goal assist. Almost. Wendland couldn't finish it off. That would have been a more unique one. She gets a hit out on the stat line to wait for that to come up. Messi would be proud of that one, the header. As inadvertent as it was. Kick goes out towards Rue. Taking a couple of good marks now this quarter, Rue. Last week she just had her timing off. She just wasn't getting her hands in the right spots. This week her timing's back a little bit.
Good confidence builder for her because she's an absolute confidence player, and when she gets going, she can do unbelievable things.
Lewis Long, white boy Dave went back with tremendous courage, and she's straight back up onto her feet and winning the footy away too. That'll go on the highlight reel for Port. That was incredible stuff from the defender. Port Adelaide through the middle. Mills Robinson was tackled hard. Slow to get back to her feet. Wendland's in there and a holding free kick. But how about that from O'Day before going back with the fly?
It was courageous.
Oh, that's 52. Zoe Wakefoot just did not give the ball back on the full. Pretty easy 50 to pay.
Yeah, West Coast here just feeling the pressure a bit from Port. Port have definitely lifted their taste, their tackle, their intensity, personified by that effort that we saw there from O'Day. Incredible courage to go back. But they're just getting under the skin here a bit of West Coast. They just need to settle and find a way to absorb this pressure.
Zoe Wakefoot knew immediately she'd done the wrong thing. Wendland will punish after the 50. Caitlin Wendon slots it through. And Port Adelaide are right back in this contest.
And that's what Port Adelaide need to do. They need to take their opportunities when they're in front of goal. Yes, it was an easy free, a 50-metre penalty. However, they've got to take their opportunities, and sometimes they're kicking them from close and sometimes they aren't. But Wendland just managed to take this opportunity and go back and slot it through.
It's almost like she was playing wall balls.
Oh, I know. And at this level of the game, you've got to know the rules, right?
Yeah, I don't know what she was thinking there. She just had a brain fade, didn't she? In a tight game like that as well, it is costly to give away a 50 directly in front. Still to hit the goal though, and it was a great set shot by the little Port Adelaide player, Welland.
You can see the amount of inside 50s that Port Adelaide have had in this quarter. They are dominating the territory now in this term. Complete swap really from the first. I'll be very happy to take that last goal after the 50. Wendland goes back in again. Swings it inside towards Stewart. Swanson's got the chase. And the strong tackle too. Held Stewart up well. Didn't fall over and push in the back. Stewart back into it. Thomas on the boot. Lewis was nudged underneath it cleverly by Foley. Bounce important there for Rue. Bit of tunnel ball played. Sort of deliberate soccer out of play. Get a boundary throw in instead.
And I'd say the difference this quarter, Sperry, is that Ella Roberts hasn't had an influence.
One disposal.
She's been tagged out of the game pretty much.
Yep. Had that mark earlier, then she went forward for a period of about 7 or 8 minutes, and then she came off the ground for a bit. She's back on the middle here, so she's got a couple of minutes here to really see if she can impose herself again on the contest and get West Coast some more breathing room. Schultz has been important in the ruck. Gets it forward to Pope. Inside 50 they go. Levicki. Mills Robinson away. On the boot they go again. Bo. Is it going to be paying a mark? It will be to reach. But they've clearly got a plan for her. When she goes forward, Foley's going straight to her. The bigger, taller matchup so that she doesn't have that height differential. And when she's playing on ball, Ella Roberts, Goody's going straight to her and just following her around like a shadow. Now with Smith in the back pocket. Out towards Zoe Wakefoot. Wanting some support
Goes by hand instead. Played pretty well in the end to Goranova, and up the wing they find Lewis. So they found a way through. Next link in the chain, Backer smashed into Brooksby, who goes back to win it again. That kick forward just hung in the air a little too long. Maloney forward. Eagles with the numbers. Crash in over the top was Thomas. Saint with the ball at her feet. Wrench goes in.
Yeah, when Lewis looked up then, there was only 3 Port players, and she said she couldn't play on and go quick because there was no forward structure. So they've lost a bit of structure in front of the ball as well here this quarter, West Coast.
The Eagles are looking towards the break at the half. Port don't want the quarter to end. Such has been their dominance this term. Stewart drifting in from the side. Still a chance here, Port Adelaide, as they go centrally. Pushed away by Rue. Back there helping out. Schilling. Tackle. Did she get a handball away? It's allowed to play.
Let's hold the ball.
So close to a whistle.
I think Britain looked up expecting it to be holding the ball too.
Swanson. Kick out to half back. And a lasso free kick. So still plenty of time. 50 seconds in this term for Port Adelaide. In the pocket. Swanson filling the space there in front of Levicki. Hooks kick knocked down. Thomas. About 40 seconds to go till the half.
And Eagles seem to be making a few more of those mistakes. Like they in the first quarter, they were taking those marks that Swanson would normally have taken. You know, and just the pressure this quarter is really making them less clean, I guess.
Dowrick emerges with it. Kick to the pocket. Levicki was there. So we wait for once the boundary line. The Eagles desperate in defence, trying to hang on till the siren.
It's also the perceived pressure. So when they're constantly at you and at you, so you get a half a second breather or you think there's going to be contact there and you expect that contact causes fumbles. 16 inside 50s to 1. That's why they're feeling the pressure. I'd be very tired if I was one of the defenders right now to 16 inside 50s, Nikki.
It's called a ball up rather than a boundary throw in. Vicky down, and we'll get that result. Again, Port still deep inside attacking territory.
We call for the ice vest. Call me down half time.
So many numbers around this boundary throw-in. Short of the 2 rucks. Knocked down, Saint. We're going to have too much impact forward. The Eagles player fell on it, holding the ball, the call. Thomas just laying on top of the footy. Saint asking the question, and at the crucial moment we'll have a set shot after the siren to end the half.
That's just fatigue as well. That's just fatigue for West Coast. If at the corner you fall on it, even the teammates should be running over there trying to rip it out. Like your teammate should be piling in trying to help you out, but it's just the fatigue gets you after 16 inside 50s against you, and you've been defending the whole quarter.
2 goals 5 for the season for Ash Saint. Lines this one up from directly in front. Kick on its way. They have dominated the term and they will lead at half-time. A fighting comeback from the Power in that second term after they were held scoreless in the first. The Eagles then held scoreless themselves in the second quarter. We have a cracking game on our hands in the West on this Super Saturday. And at half-time, Port Adelaide lead it by a point. Ash Saint with the goal after the siren at the half. And you say it quite often in footy, Nikki, but it really was a game of 2 halves.
Yeah, it was. And you can just see in the first quarter, Port Adelaide was second to the footy. Their pressure was not as great and they were just bombing away. Whereas now we can see that they've turned it around in that second quarter.
Let's get back down to Bonnie Rayner.
Poor Ashley Saint, she's hardly caught her breath after putting her side in front and now already on the microphone. Thank you for your time. You must be really happy with how you guys responded after being held scoreless in the first quarter.
Yeah, we weren't happy with the first quarter. We want to turn up from the first bounce and we didn't. West Coast are really good around the ground and we knew we needed to win the contested possession that quarter and yeah, it's good to go in at half-time on top.
You effectively tagged Ella Roberts out of the equation that quarter. Is that what you'll look to do to keep the game on your terms in the second half?
Yeah, she's someone that can definitely change the game for West Coast. So she's got a really good contested mark. So if we can take Ella Roberts out of the game, then yeah, that'll help us.
We'll go and catch your breath and best of luck for the second half.
Thank you.
That goal to Saint, putting the power in front at the half. Lauren O'Neill ringing the changes. Porter got themselves back into it, and they lead it at half-time. Spark. It was all West Coast early in this contest, but Gemma Houghton really got going in that second term, fired her side up. They lifted their pressure and their intensity, and they have taken the lead at the major break, 3-2-20 to 3-1-19. The Eagles held scoreless in the first quarter. Nikki Harwood, Port held scoreless in the first quarter. West Coast held scoreless in the second quarter, and Sperry it was a game that really switched a couple of times.
Yeah, it certainly did, but it was personified by some lift and pressure and work rate from Port Adelaide. They really got to work around the ball. Their contested possessions, they got back in front. Their tackling as well, they ramped up. They were -3, but now they're +6 at half-time. And they really just stopped West Coast getting any transition. You see, remember that coast-to-coast goal in the first quarter? They didn't even look like moving the ball fast at all in that second quarter. I know Nicky's going to chat a little bit about Ella Roberts and what we saw there, but I think Port as a team, they really got to work around the contest as a unit. Gemma Houghton, she just was the energy and the spark that got them going.
She was, and Port Adelaide chased up a few things in that second quarter. They got first to the ball, they pressured harder, you could just feel it lift around the ground. They changed their inside 50 entries, where they were just changing their entries to a low entry rather than bombing it high. And the biggest factor, they tagged out Ella Roberts.
Certainly changed the game. A free kick right on the siren there, and Ash Saint able to convert it after half-time there. Some of the highlights thanks to Chemist Warehouse. And you mentioned Ella Roberts, Nikki, the fact that she was so good in that first quarter, and we can see some of her work there, but then the game shifting when she copped that hard tag in the second term. We really didn't see much of her in that second quarter.
No, as we saw that Goody went to her when she was in the midfield, and then Foley was with her when Ella Roberts pushed forward. But you can see she's just such an amazing player. But what we've seen now is that she's very, very good when she's free, and when you shut her down, the Eagles don't have anywhere else to go. So they've got to make sure Ella Roberts needs to actually work through these tags, and she needs to actually work harder to try and get herself freer and really help Eagles in this next quarter.
And her teammates as well. Her teammates got to come over, try and put a block on her when she's on the ball, she's forward. Just try and do what they can to make the job hard for the tagger.
A terrific crowd in. I think they're on track for a record this afternoon here at Mineral Resources Park. The Eagles fans will be hoping their side can fight back. Port Adelaide trying to push towards the top 8 as well. Second half not too far away in the West. Third quarter about to get underway at Mineral Resources Park in the West. Port Adelaide dominating that second term have got themselves in front at the major change. It was all the Eagles early. They kicked 3-1 to no score in that first term, and then Port Adelaide kicking 3-2 to no score in the second term to completely switch things up. But it's a close battle, as you'd expect, between these two teams who are fighting for positions in the top 8 as we start to go towards the back end of this season. You see the tail of the game so far for Ella Roberts. She dominated that first quarter with 11 disposals and a goal, but just the one in the second term. So that clearly would have been a focus of West Coast. So how to get her into the game a little bit more, as Goody's got a bit to say to her out there as he's implemented a really good tag.
Yeah, she's certainly trying to get under her skin. Also on the Port team as well, Dowrick's up to 11 disposals, but she's been really instrumental around the contest. Like, she's got clean hands to it, she's extracted it out. So they need to still win the ball. One thing to take Ella Roberts out, but they still need to win the ball themselves, and she's been a great driver for that.
Lauren Wakefor's gone up into the ruck for West Coast. We are underway, third term, Mineral Resources Park, and a great hit out too, down to Drennan. He's able to get it to Roberts, who goes a big fend again, that time on Maloney. He get clear and send it out to Britton. Seen that a couple of times today. The play on Salt Swanson into some trouble. Bowing on the boot towards the 50. Thomas in front, over the top. We almost took it. Teakle down low. Swanson's in there. Important first score of this third quarter, whichever way it goes. Weston got clear of the first tackle, not the second. Bogle go again, hooks it in. Houghton in front. You make your own luck. And Houghton playing in front. Able to just lead out again and take a mark on the chest.
Just time and space there. Sort of had enough time to just shimmy around. I think in the first quarter you would have seen West Coast close that down and put a quick tackle on, but just that extra few seconds, a bit of fatigue, and that's what you get.
Two-time Freo leading goal kicker. Two-time Port Adelaide leading goal kicker, Gemma Houghton. That one hooking away out of behind. And a good battle between her and Cleaver.
Yeah, Cleaver just let her go. She just didn't have any body contact on her, and when Gemma Houghton's got space in front of her, she'll use it.
Georgie Cleavage playing her 7th game. Dual sport athlete. Youth level for Australia in netball. Goranova. We'll get past Hammond. Now Drennan. Good tackle, Maloney.
I just saw Weston then trying to get in between Ella Roberts and Goody off ball, just putting a few checks on. So we call for that at half time. Her teammates to start bumping into the tag and make it a tough day for them. Just seeing that's good coaching as well there. Daisy Pearce obviously sent the message.
Wakeford just locking up. Shoals had a really good second quarter as well, giving her team a first juice out of the ruck. Shoals again, hands to it. Get another stoppage. See if this game turns into a bit more of an arm wrestle in this third quarter. Shots clean down. And a holding free kick. Darrick will take it. Back to her feet quickly. Pumps the ball long inside 50. Houghton to it, out the back. Saint waiting, down to strike. The snap to goal, across the face. And then Swanson out of defence. So Britton a task. Port Adelaide win it back. Mills Robinson in a milestone from the pocket. That's a lifter for the Power. Game number 75, the 3-time premiership player with the Crows, the heart and soul of Port Adelaide, kicks a vital goal to start the third term.
And you could just see as soon as she pressured the ball, she wanted that footy back. And it didn't matter that she was hemmed into the boundary line. We'll see here that she works her way across to this contact and absolutely puts pressure on, wants it back straight away because she knows that she's going to kick it from there.
Got the play on. Ambitious. But she knew she had the angle covered. So normally you'd see a lot of teams go back there, take the advantage, go back and have a step shot, but she just played straight on. Straight the hoof, and didn't the team love it? Just they're an absolute high Port, so couldn't score in the first quarter going this end. Held scoreless. Now they kick the first goal after kicking the last goal as well before half-time. So there's a big momentum swing here. Port's way completely.
Just her 8th goal in 75 matches. We see Zoe Wakeford coming from the grounds.
Must be a bit of blood rule if they've stopped the game here.
Get another look at it. Yeah, poking the eye, perhaps. Yeah, from Howard, just accidentally there with the contact. So we get back underway. And the other sister cops a knock to the face now. Lauren wait for a poke in the eye at the same time.
Oh, it's on the way.
He's giving it away.
They do a lot of things similar, the two sisters. That's not one they'd want. But Zoe's just gone off. Lauren goes back in hard again. Close to Schultz, trying to do everything to spoil it. Out to meet it was Window. Hammond could have been taken high. There's a real scrap on behind play. Trying to wait for it. Schultz neither taking a backward step. Kick goes in for the power. Mills Robinson there again. Bogue back to Mills Robinson for two in the space of a minute. She's done it!
West Coast here completely out of the park, but that is quick footy. So you saw the free kick in the middle, driven it forward, and Mills on the spot. 2 goals in the space of a minute, perhaps. She is loving it. She gave the big celebration there, and the team got around. But they're just really making the most clean at ground level and making the most opportunities.
And they're not looking for perfect entries, but they're not sky-high deliveries inside 50. They're lowered, and what's happening is West Coast aren't taking the mark, so that Port Adelaide can capitalise on the ground.
Capitalising on half chances when they come forward, not over possession, not looking for the perfect play. That's sort of personified what Port have done. Just got to work around the ball in the last 30 minutes and really driven it forward and given their forwards a chance in some one-on-one contests.
And the last 10 scores, kicked the last 5 goals in the game. Port Adelaide, Roberts out in the middle. There's a holding free kick. It'll go the Eagles' way this time.
I think it's Ella Roberts, yeah.
So Roberts will take it. Cross to Bushby. Just don't have the sort of movement they did earlier on in the game. West Coast. Stewart in front this time. Wants to play on. Into a bit of trouble. Schultz's kick smothered by LeKay. Go back in. Rude. Strong work. They knock it down. Foley's in and under. And a ball up at half forward.
You've got their front half here. They just need to make sure that they keep it in here for a little bit. Got to keep it in your territory. You can't let it bounce straight out.
Both benches looking really busy to start this third term. Lewis. And ball away. Back up. Bushby. Going over. Now kick smothered. Wrench should be first to it. Just waiting to pick up before trying to burst away, but Houghton with a good tackle.
We just see this quarter that West Coast aren't getting as much run on as they have done in the first quarter.
A long time since their last goal. Sort of scoring at will in that first quarter. It's been impressive by Port Adelaide the way they've been able to change this game.
Yeah, they've stopped that transition. That's certainly one thing for sure. West Coast getting no flow at the moment forward.
Goronova's kick. Foley dropped the footy. And Whistler gone to pay the mark, but poor play on as it should have been. Sent in by Brooksby. And to meet it was Thomas. A good control kick to Lewis. Now they're trying to get some overlap run. Roberts back into trouble. Let's try to force the issue a bit too much. The Eagles, they turn it over. Goody. Wide. Houghton's there almost. Cleaver kept their feet. Houghton couldn't complete the mark. Cleaver up the wing. Bouncing ball there, Rude. O'Day attacking it again. Brooksby lost it. And a ball up.
Yeah, they're just trying to force that handball there to Ella Roberts. I don't mind it giving to her when she comes past, but you've got to keep going the same way. The cut back in invites the pressure in. It's a great tackle from the big Port ruckman.
Yeah, Scholes has been outstanding in this game. She's just really, for a tall player, she's been, her pressure has been elite.
Ella Roberts, we thought she could get around with a bit of agility, but she stayed the inside shoulder, and when she cut back in, she was positioned to close that gap.
Discussions down there on the bench. Or plenty of chat. Got a boundary throw in here on the wing. Midway through this third term. Perfect conditions on a Saturday afternoon. McKay won it down. Stewart lost it. Now Weston will try to use that pace. Open forward line. Don't give him chase. Weston. Kick off the side of the boot. The pressure there. She almost chases it down her own kick. But it's Pope who arrives. Back up the wing. Bouncing footy. Good work by Window to create the opening. Swanson won't take a backward step. Won it away. Thomas wide, out of bounds on the full. Britton was over the line. Free kick will go to Port Adelaide. Crowd not happy, but it was certainly over the line, it looks. Boundary was right on the spot.
Got to stop some of these uncontested marks now in this quarter. Hasn't been Port style of game, but they're just starting to get a few link possessions in between now.
Teakle goes long. And Chilling. Really good defensive intercept. And part of her trademark this season. She'll go with an aggressive kick, wanting Roberts to marks it and goes as well. Under heavy pressure. They give chase. Roberts shows a clean pair of heels, but run down. Great work by Hammond not to give up on the play. Roberts was almost away, and it forces a stoppage inside 50 for the Eagles.
Great chase. Incredible mark again. She's been absolutely phenomenal. Roberts here just ran a straight line. Just need to change the angle, I reckon, and just sort of swerve. Sometimes you can find a way. You just move left or move right, and the poor player lunge. If she just sort of moved left or right, I reckon she might have shook the tackle.
It was great desperation from Hammond. We've seen a free kick paid here going to Lewis.
Has she got the range here, distance, Nikki?
Yeah, I think she does. I think she's got the range, just the accuracy.
It's an important goal. Over half an hour since their last goal for West Coast, so this is a must kick, I think, for West Coast right now. They've got a chance to go forward. Brave switch kick, a little bit of Ella Roberts dash.
Bella Lewis leans back. It is tight and misses. First opportunity for quite some time.
Free in the pocket here, Port. Just they're going to use it.
Port by 13. Couple of goals to Mules Robinson in this quarter. Swanson was there, Cleaver as well, but the drop mark sees it out the back to Wendland. It allows Port Adelaide to go to half forward. Big one-on-one here. Schilling attacks it in front of Teakle. Got it away to Thomas. Bulleted the ball up the wing. Stewart made a spoil, could have been a free, and then Hammond shot a goal. Is a behind. They had players out then, Port Adelaide. Out, wanted it deep. Is this a free kick?
Oh, I think it probably is. I think she just took her eyes off the ball at the last minute. Usually if you keep your eye on the ball the whole time, at first glance instinctively it looked like just a little cannonball into her, didn't it? In the same.
Not really trying to spoil the
yes.
taking the player out.
Just sort of made a bit of contact. Stiff there, safe not to get one probably.
Port unlucky not to get the free. Eagles to half back. Dowrick couldn't hang on to it. Drennan in there. Harkin flicked it out. Simmons back to Drennan again. Nothing through the middle of the ground. Little shimmy that time to get away. That's what you were talking about earlier, Spurrier. Yep. Through the centre square. Simmons knocked it on well. Drennan's back onto the footy. To half forward. Back up. On the boot. High one. Rue in front. Volley a great spoil. And stands over Rue as well. But it's Weston arriving with pace and speed, but not the accuracy. She's been lightning every time she's gone near it.
That's fast. A couple of half chances here, West Coast. They've just started getting the ball. You see that transition now. They're getting it from half back to half forward really quickly, and Port struggled with that. So they've got to keep going this way now, move the ball quick and try and capitalise on the opportunity.
Again, they Port Adelaide not giving up on the chase and just affecting the kick. Out to half back they go. Roberts was there. I think he got it through. Dowrick's been important. Middle of the ground. Swanson. Cracking game of footy. Ball to half forward. Roberts. Another mark. Pretty open forward line. Warren Wakefield wanted it early. Roberts looks around. It's touched off the boot. Bounce crucial. Spills past a few. Jermack. Thomas up to meet it. Volleys it forward. Weston. A slice of luck going the Eagles' way.
Need a bit of luck.
She'll look to pass herself, I think, Weston.
Yeah, concerned about the distance. Rue was on a short lead.
I think it might have been Brooksby was in that one-on-one on the far side, but just kept the ball in front. If that ball went through, it was two Port players to one West Coast player. It was down the other end probably for a goal. She kept it in front, that just did enough.
Weston still looking around for an option. He's going to play on and try and use that speed again, but well read on the mark. Jermack spoiled it down and smothered it. So away to Roberts again, the fence. As she goes to the square, Port with numbers. Not to the front. Smith trying to rove. And Drennan in support, but the ball just kept rolling away from her. Trying to fend herself. And Backer's wrapped up. A couple of half chances inside 50 for the Eagles.
Really well defended by Port Adelaide.
At the stoppage. Socked away by Dowrick. Jules Robinson up to meet it. Harkin crashed through a couple. Got a handball through it. No, didn't make connection. Not in the ball to call. The locals getting a bit frustrated. It's great to hear the passion at the footy. We think it might be a record crowd for West Coast. Get confirmation on that number as the game progresses. Pats out on the hill, the Mineral Resources Park. Thomas goes wide. And they just came off the bench, so it helped Britain up for a second. Western works hard to half forward. Calling for someone to lead at her. A high ball into Rube. Sat up on her head. Vicky knocked it down. Bogues kick clears away. Goody. Such an impressive young player.
This is where Port Adelaide looked to go long. They tried it in the first quarter and didn't come off because West Coast was so clean. Now they're just looking for the ball to come to ground and just to run on and get the ball forward.
Okay, and Swanson almost spoiled each other. The kick back through the middle of the ground. Hammond lost it and was held without it. So the free kick will go to the Power. Dispossessed in the tackle and certainly lingered too long. Simmons didn't realise it had spilt out. And Hammond away, gaining a few extra metres. Swanson! He's had a big quarter. Taken some vital intercepts.
We'll move it quick here.
Lewis for disposal number 18.
Good hit up.
Lead from Simmons.
Ella Roberts one-on-one in front of the ball. Made that way now.
Jermack for company. Kick goes that way, but it's a little wider. Backer. Roberts peels away. Backer tries to chip it in her direction to the 50. Roberts doubles back. Too far out. Looks up. Wants a target. Great delivery. Smith was there. Pressure by Port Adelaide. Out of defence. It's Dowrick again. Continues to rack them up. Knocked on by Thomas. Eagles with some repeat entries. Schultz could take it down low. Harkin was clean. Got it to Simmons. Extra number again. Harkin works it to Swanson. They go back inside. They had to continue to roll. Schilling got the arms cleared. Wrench now. That pressure from Port Adelaide relentless.
Did well there, Port. They were outnumbered. West Coast looked like they had an outnumber and a free at the ball, but they just couldn't do the cans quick enough.
Bonnie Rayner with an update.
Yeah, Paps, good news for Eagles fan. Zoe Wakefer is back on the ground. She had a host of tests on that right eye. She couldn't even open it after she came off and missed the majority of that quarter, but she's back out there and has been cleared to return to the game.
Thanks, Bonnie. It was a nasty injury. Ball going her direction now as the kick goes up towards Saint and Wakefer. Swanson in to help. Saint able to beat two of them. Wendland into window. Up and under with a kick. Goes wide. Jules Robinson has some space. Swanson trying to get there. Lays a good tackle. Port continue to move. Goody. Saint into the pocket. Levicki.
Against the flow here. West Coast have done all the attacking in the last probably 8 minutes. Now you get a half a chance after a good mark on the charge.
So it's just all about keeping the ball alive in the forward line for Port Adelaide. It didn't matter how ugly it looked, they just wanted it to stay alive.
Drop punt on check side.
Looks like a drop punt coming.
What would you think, Nikki?
Check side.
Olivia Levicki from the pocket. Former basketballer. Goes with the drop punt, but maybe should have gone the check side. Crowd in, loving every minute of it. We've got a great game on our hands. Port and West Coast just going at it. As Lewis with another disposal. Closing on 20 for the match. Finds Drennan.
Continue her great form.
30 seconds remaining. This third term. West Coast have had more of the footy, but haven't been able to convert a goal. Seen all the scoring going to the right-hand side. Pretty much in terms of goals, except for those two to Mills Robinson. The Eagles haven't been able to convert in this quarter. Maloney got it forward. Bogue on the boot. Eagles camped back there. Thomas. Swanson. And Smith in some running support. 10 seconds to go. They run and carry and sprint. Simmons, they need a mark inside 50, bouncing. Roberts, siren about to sound, and it's marked just in the nick of time by Bushby. There's no time to play with there at all.
That was impressive transition. The run of Smith off the back line, really, Simmons, off the back line. Oh, no, it was Smith, Belinda Smith.
It was Belinda Smith, and linked up with Simmons.
Yeah, it was an incredible run. That's what created that opportunity, that willingness to take the game on, switch open side, and back your legs in and have that overlap.
It has been a long time since their last goal. Porter kicked the last 5 in the game after the siren at 3-quarter time to give the home team a big lift towards the final quarter. Bushby breaks the drought for West Coast, and it is game on as we turn for home. It is Port Adelaide by 8 points.
Well, there you go, folks. The Eagles peg one back after the siren. 3-quarter time as Port Adelaide 5-5-35, leading the Eagles 4-3-27. Port Adelaide had kicked 5 of the last 6 goals, but can that be the spark that brings the West Coast Eagles back into this match? I think it could be. I tell you what, Port Adelaide came out on fire into that second quarter, and in that third quarter, West Coast, they sustained the pressure of Port Adelaide and came back well to only 8 points adrift. Coming into the final term, wow, we have got a cracker of a last quarter coming up here. Just look at your stats here. Ella Roberts, Isabel Lewis leading the way. Disposals for on the ground for West Coast, both with 19. Charlotte Thomas, 18. Abby Durick, best for Port Adelaide there, was 16 on the ground. Molly Brooksby with 10 there for Port Adelaide. Goranoff for West Coast Eagles. She's got 9 touches. Let's keep going down. Zoe Walker, she's got 6, and Belinda Smith 6 for West Coast. Ebony O'Day just with a 5 with Angela Foley also for Port Adelaide. But there are your stats. That's how your players are scoring up there up until 3-quarter time. The goal scorers for the match, we've got a few here. Only got one multiple goal scorer though. Justin Mills Robinson for Port Adelaide, the only multiple goal scorer on the ground with 2. Caitlin Wendling, Ashley Saint, Gemma Horton are the other single goal scorers for Port Adelaide. For the West Coast Eagles, all single goal scorers on the ground. Lauren Walker, Ella Roberts, Isabel Lewis, Abigail Bushby. They are your goal scorers for the match. Just looking at the disposals, it's the Eagles by 30. Can you believe it? Well, it's strange, isn't it? 30 up. And Port Adelaide in front. The kicks, only 11 the difference. 21, Eagles trying to link up there, finding a little bit of space. Inside 50 though, Port Adelaide, 28 for 10 scoring shots. 21 for the Eagles for their 7. Both teams doing reasonably well. Disposal efficiency, not too bad. 62% there for the Eagles. Free kicks going Port's way, 15-9. The hit-outs, Port in front there as the clearances, centre clearances and stoppage clearances. They certainly had a dominant part of the game through that second and third term. Contested possessions, well, Port by 10. Uncontested, well, they just seem to be owning the ball. A lot of that came in the opening quarter. 94-50, West Coast Eagles. Turnovers pretty much the same, but the marks with those uncontested possessions, chipping the ball, finding space, time in hand, 49 marks to 14, West Coast Eagles. Wowee. Marks inside 50. Finding their targets well were the Eagles, but Port Adelaide also finding their target 4 times. Contested marks, Eagles stronger in the air. Looking at the defensive tackles, Port Adelaide, no worries about seeing that they're bringing the pressure to the Eagles through that period of time, 57-41. Inside 50 tackles, 9-5. There we go. Not too far away. Carly, how you going, Squire? We'll be back down with the commentators in just a moment, folks.
Three-quarter time at Mineral Resources Park, and Port Adelaide with an 8-point lead. Justine Mills-Robinson in her 75th AFLW match has done just about all of it before with 3 flags at the Crows, but a couple of really important goals in that third quarter. And then this one from Abigail Bushby after the siren at three-quarter time. The Eagles able to transition it, really break a long goal drought that they had in the match, puts them back into contention. This game's so crucial for both of these teams if they want to play in the finals in 2024. Lee Spur, Nikki Harwood, that is the tale of the game so far. Bella Lewis has racked it up, Ella Roberts has racked it up, and Abby Dowrick's been really good for Port Adelaide.
Yeah, Port Adelaide were able to get their game going where they like a contested game and they like to do the long kicks and then get the ball going. They were bringing the ball to ground and just catching the Eagles out.
The Eagles controlling the disposals, the marks around the ground as well. Ella Roberts, Sperry able to get back into it again a bit more in that third term.
Yeah, they're able to find her a bit more. They were trying to force the issue a little bit in that third goal with some handballs, but once they could kick to her at a marking opportunity, she's taken the 10 marks, really started controlling the transition on the open side.
Let's get down to Bonnie Rayner with Lauren Arnell, the Port coach.
Yeah, a bit of a coach killer there after the siren. Lauren, what was the message to the troops to bring this home strong after that surge from West Coast?
Yeah, obviously I think we've been able to show our style of footy from after quarter time, so we've just got to stick to that and be willing to outwork them.
How confident are you can get the job done here?
I'm confident our group is willing to outwork the whatever oppo we have in front of us, so now we just got to get it done.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Game face on from Lauren Arnell. Coaching against Daisy Pearce, as you'd expect with the game on the line. As we turn for home, the coaching against Daisy Pearce, which is fantastic to see. 2 former AFLW players coaching against each other. Final term, Mineral Resources Park, Port and West Coast. Who will work harder in this term? We'll see a ball up to start the final quarter.
West Coast had a couple of half opportunities that they missed in that quarter as well. They probably should have kicked. So I reckon they probably deserve to be, if not in front, at the start of this last quarter.
Schultz on the boot. Able to get it for. She's played a big part in this game. Finds Stewart on 50. Lots of attacking threats for Port Adelaide. Pocket of space opens up. Houghton stood tallest, plays on and bangs it through. Ripping start to the final term from Port.
And that was just really well worked from the stoppage and just to move the ball forward. Jazzy Stewart has got the most deadly left boot. And I could have told you that she was going to look for Gemma Houghton because they just work so well together. But Gemma Houghton did so well to take that mark and then just turn and play on straight away. That's when she's best, is when she plays on.
But you can't go to sleep on Gemma Houghton. That's one of the big things. So even when she does take the mark, you've got to make sure you stand the mark because that just becomes a gimme, like you said before. With Gemma Houghton, you've got to make her go back and take the set shot. She missed the one from directly in front before. You said that's probably her least favourite one is the one she's straight in front. The one where she's playing on instinct is the one that she loves.
Crucial goal to Port Adelaide again. Schultz has been so strong in the ruck, slaps it forward. Going over there for West Coast. Sends it back to half forward. O'Day sliding in. Crucial intercept.
She's been amazing today with her courage.
Saw a huge moment earlier on in the game where she went back with a fly and ended up being a score for her team. Coronova goes to ground. Roberts. Away to Thomas. Sending it forward. Drennan just spoiled. Away from Backer. Now Brooksby has found a bit of it today. Way to Maloney. Back to Brooksby. Sold into trouble. Lewis with the tackle. Roberts. Way to Lyons. Pushed off the kick by Dowrick. Maloney can send Port Adelaide back to the 50. Mills Robinson there. Took a touch on the way through. Out. High ball. Inside 50. Wendland found it when no one else could.
She just read it better, didn't she? She kept her eyes on the ball, kept herself under the fall of the ball and just took a really easy chest mark in the end.
Bit of panic probably setting in. A little falcon.
That's her second one, isn't it?
Is that the second one?
Yeah. So Wendland to take it. On range and on target. Port Adelaide with 2 crucial goals to start the final term and put a break in the game. Second goal for Caitlin Wendland in the match. She's had to fight hard to get her spot at Port Adelaide. She's been a train-on before with Port, an injury replacement player at Brisbane. A couple of handy goals in this one.
Yeah, amazing. As we said before, she's just read this ball better. Like it goes as high as it does long. But she just stays under the ball, keeps her eyes on it, goes back, and just kicks Julian. Doesn't she love it?
Classy little left footer as well. That's 2 goals from set shots that she's kicked, and both been elite technically. Mechanically coming in, good ball drop, straight line. Any young kids watching along want to know how to kick for goal. That's how you do it.
Only 1 goal for her career before today. Now got 2 in this one to take it to 3 total. It's Port Adelaide out of the middle again. Saw the game face was on from Lauren Arnell at 3/4 time. Court coming to play again. Trying to push up in towards the top 8. Rue couldn't take it. Wait for a huge bump. O'Day felt every bit of that, but back up at her feet. Then the smother. O'Day goes again. Wafer's got her collar. Ball just spilling out. Eagles threatening. That'll be a ball up. So, tap down, okay. Lewis back in underneath.
Need a quick reply here, West Coast. Need to score, get this momentum going back their way.
Okay, down Roberts trying to take it. Maloney spins out of trouble. So half-back, it was over the head of Swanson. Wendland with a great pick-up down low. And then gaining some territory as well. Bounce crucial out there. Schilling waited ever so well to get it to Cleaver.
Did really well there, Schilling.
But it gone out the back. Houghton was away. Now Britton along the boundary. Hammond's quick and goes in again. Britton didn't give up on it. Good footy.
Great second, third, fourth efforts there by Brit. She just didn't give up.
Both players, though, as well. Like, great chase, forced the handball down the line, then the pick-up, and then forced to make the tackle.
Tap down, Drennan on the boot. Jermack standing in the road.
It's the right place at the right time.
Good positioning.
Yes.
Well, it's the old adage there, you've got to keep your eye on the ball, so you can't just turn and run aimlessly. Like, got to see the trajectory of the ball before you turn and decide where you're going to run. Some of the West Coast players are just turning and bolting before the kick's happening.
Drop ball into Pope and then to Stewart. Can really control the game now, Port, with that 20-point advantage. On towards the 50. Schultz. Smothered by LeKay. Schultz goes back in again. Tackle by Drennan. Didn't really get rid of it cleanly. No whistle. Simmons. Allowed with Foley.
Good positioning there by Foley. Just big pack of players. Just position herself on the open side corridor. If they're going to exit, they're going to exit this way and got herself a cheap free kick.
Foley will pump it long. To the hot spot. Houghton trying to bring it down to the front. Window. Snaps. Out of behind. Fans young and old enjoying the warm weather. An ice cream to boot as well. Out the footy. Fan for life there, I think. Smith. Going over. Up the wing to Roberts. Trying to turn. Pick up with the one hand. Oh, so clean. And a high ball to half forward. Kick just ill-directed. O'Day playing in front of Rue.
You see the work a bit harder there, Rue, to get across.
Mark dropped by Brooksby. Roberts onto it like lightning. Swooped. Away to Lewis. Back to Roberts. Trying to feed it over the top again. Throws it away.
Great tackle.
Yeah, just needed to get it on the boot and just move it forward.
Molly Brooksby, I suppose the number 14 coming up, second most on the tally sheet for Port Adelaide. Another one of those young guns for the power. Going over towards Roberts. Smith was just waiting to see which way it would bounce. And Brooksby is held up.
I think Roberts must have had a really big pre-season because a couple of times in this last quarter she's come from behind her opponent to win the ball. Just good endurance and speed.
All knocked down again, and Harkin wrapped up. Drennan will take it. Now Lewis didn't really have it. Free kick, in fact, holding the ball as we get to Bonnie Rayner.
Yeah, perhaps a new crowd record for the Eagles today, 2,470 in the house. That is a new record after round one against Richmond drew 2,166. So nearly 2,500 in the house today.
Thanks, Bonnie. breaking records everywhere this season, West Coast. Most wins they've ever had. And starting to turn into fans coming through the gates. Behind the scoreboard, being treated to a really good game of footy. Wait for attack that knocked it down. Goranova is wrapped up.
Eagles will want to start moving this ball really quickly because they don't have time to waste. Time is not on their side. They just want to get this ball and start surging and running in numbers.
Wendland's picked up an injury.
Big spot.
Wendland's picked up an injury. Schultz takes it out of the ruck. It's been a dominant factor, and Schilling again reads it so well. And a 50-metre penalty too, so that'll release the pressure. Got to go up the ground a bit further. Pretty much all the players roll up the ground. Wendland's still trying to get off the ground. Cleaver can mark. Goes the direct option. Waiting there was Dowrick. Give it a free kick. Lewis having to take it and run her full distance from just inside 50. It bounces away from goal, through from behind. Speed there from Lewis.
That would have been fantastic for the Eagles, having come out from fullback, got the 50-metre penalty. That could have been a very crucial one for them to start surging forward from here.
Foley brings it back in. Hills Robinson was there. Swanson to Thomas. High ball to half forward. Rue calls her teammate out and couldn't mark. All knocked away. Simmons kept it moving forward. Lewis trying to get the run of it. Took O'Day high.
Yeah, very courageous there for O'Day playing in defence. I know Ken Sutcliffe worked really closely with a former teammate line in defence, and they always spoke about how courageous he was. Did a big hit before as well, so she's put her body on the line all the time.
Along up the wing. Wrench running the wrong direction and in trouble. Didn't really get a handball out. Thomas threw the boot at it. Levicki, Maloney. Forward, it lands with Saint. Open forward line again. Should also be the tall target. Schilling down there out the back, just protects the footy nicely. Hills Robinson wants number 3. Swanson gets back. Schilling to the boot of Scholes. And it's out of play. Port doing more than enough right now to hold the Eagles at arm's length with this handy break.
They're absorbing their pressure really well, Port. So they're surging West Coast. They're sort of taking a few more risks, and Port are just finding a way to absorb it, but also still finding chances to attack. They're not just going in to save the game mode. They're still trying to find a way to score.
Matilda Scholes, third best and first in her first season. Still so young, but dominating this game in the ruck. Goes out to half back. Roberts again. Another contested mark. Just able to tap it to her own advantage. They want to get it and play on. Lewis ran into trouble. Flicked it over the top. Wanted Harkin. Windows there. Maloney able to burrow out. Hammond's kick certainly wasn't the distance. Dowrick. Bogue. High ball in. McKay's back there. Schultz crunches. Wrench. Away to Thomas. Good delivery out to Britton. The Eagles struggling to get it forward of centre.
The Eagles can't blaze away because Port have got a +1 back in their defence. So if the Eagles go too fast, too quickly, this is going to get chopped off and rebounded by Port Adelaide.
Foley back there patrolling. Swanson didn't want to head in that direction. It's knocked away. LeKay. Good tackle, but it was a bit high in fact. So the tough thing to do. LeKay a bit slow to get back to her feet.
Abby Dowrick just coming in here with a big tackle on LeKay, but just coming a little bit high over her shoulder and giving away the free kick.
Okay, we'll go to half forward. There's Foley waiting back. Wasn't required because Levicki can help.
Just looking at Port is setting up here, they've just got themselves almost into a straight line in their forward 50, so they've changed their setup a little bit in the forward 50 here. As opposed to spreading it, they're keeping their numbers condensed, so they don't want to get open and scored against quickly.
Wrench intercepts it back. 6 minutes to play. Trying to use her speed, but they force themselves into trouble. Worked okay. Thomas across to Cleaver. A more direct option this time, Lauren Wakefer. plays on, chips it over the top. Open goal if it sits. Bushby running, wasn't sure whether to pick up. She went to soccer instead. Scuffed the kick and away. A goal goes begging. She had time to gather. And in the end, it's just a behind for the Eagles. Bushby, who converted after the siren at three-quarter time, leaves one out there.
You needed that one.
It's a bounce of the ball, isn't it? You don't know where it's going to go sometimes. But the pressure from Port Adelaide, and even though it was probably perceived pressure, was enough to put the ball through the points.
Just a bit of fatigue as well.
Yeah.
Out. Maloney. Darrick. Oh, good one.
Wrench. The strength from Darrick to get away. Gets Maloney on the move. Game opening up. High ball. Mills Robertson did well to bring it to ground. Wendland's in there. There's that. Pocket it through, away to Saint, who sends it long towards the goal square. Bounce crucial, and it's not cleverly away in the end by Simmons.
There's that 450 set up again from Port. So if they do lose the contest, they've got numbers at the source. They don't get counter-attack quickly. They create a contest. They'll either win it or get a stoppage. It's been a good tweak from them for their forward 50 here in this last quarter.
Just 4 minutes to go now. Port with the game in hand. Levicki want to win it down. Wrench away to Roberts. Again, can break to half back, but the kick only finds Foley. He'll pump it long back inside 50. Out and down there, a little nudge, spills away. Maloney after it. Harkin wants to rush it. Does so with Britton. And a behind to Port.
Port's work rate here is just coming to the fore, and it's making sure that the Eagles aren't finding an easy way out.
Bella Lewis, suppose the number 23. Through the middle of the ground, Port just set up again so well. Bogue will go wide. Just off the bench was Drennan, who closed quickly, but Hammond was there. Stabs the pass in. Missed the target of Darragh. Britton was just waiting for the tackle to come. No awareness that coming in to wrap her up, and Wendland's got it again.
Lack of awareness by Britton, but also possibly a poor handball choice as well to go to her when she was under pressure.
Gemma Houghton played a really valuable hand up forward again for Port. A couple of goals in the match. Great snap from the pocket in that second turn. Got her side going. Swanson. Now to half-back, foot races on. Simmons is quick. Ball set up perfectly for it. Now they can get out and run. Bushby with another opportunity. No one between her and the goals. Needs it to sit for her. Good chase from Scholes. Did well. The big ruck. Able to get it, win the footy and get it to Foley. Darrick steps through the tackle from Wakefer. Powerful athlete. Drives the kick up through the middle of the ground. Fisted away from Saint. And then the tackle held way too long. It'll be a free kick to Port Adelaide. A great chase from Scholes back there.
Fantastic. Lots of space, had a paddock. It might have been worth maybe kicking it off the ground, keeping it front, bit of momentum, surging it.
Didn't kick it off the ground though, right?
Because of before, yeah, I know. She's not throwing goals though, so.
Pick it up, pick it up.
Schilling with the intercept.
It's really hard when there's a couple of minutes to go in the game, you're exhausted, you're trying to pick it up at full speed, your hammies are screaming, you certainly feel for her in that situation.
Rue gets the free. Advantage not paid to West Coast. So Rue away now to Swanson. Stabs the kick forward. Lewis tucked it on cleverly to herself and could be away at goal. Handball over the top. They can work the numbers over to Thomas, to Wakefer. Just needed one more in the chain, but Port not giving up anything.
Great chase.
Great pressure. I mean, Port, as you said, perhaps they're just not giving up. It was so easy for them to not chase that, but they just kept shutting down, going 1-to-1 in the contest and making sure there was no outlet for the Eagles.
Brooksby ran about 80 metres just to get there in the goal square and put enough pressure to force the handball from Wakefield. If she gave up the chase, Wakefield was to turn around and kick it through the goals.
Brings it in now, already got a Rising Star nomination this season. Back to the 50. Strong tackle. Laid by Rue. Side defence. Certainly are still making plenty of noise. Minute to go. See a free kick paid here. It's going to go to Rue.
I think she should torp it.
Torp it?
Yeah, why not?
Go for it. She's a powerful kick.
She is.
She's a long kick of the footy. She'll have to kick it 45, yeah.
Right.
Torp.
Bring back the barrel.
I don't mind the barrel. Roxy Rue, 6th season, first for West Coast. Bella Roberts on the goal line though, trying to take a specky. Rue, great connection, and dumps it through from long range. That's what Roxy Rue can do. The cry goes up from her mum in the crowd. Her first goal in West Coast Eagles colours, given the revered number 9 jumper at West Coast. And she had no problems going back. You were confident, Nikki, that she'd be able to execute from there.
She can do anything, Roxy. I've seen her at her best. She used to play at East Fremantle, and I've seen her play some extreme football. So it's no surprise to me that she could put that through, because she just needs half a chance. She just needs to build up her confidence, and she can do anything. Wait till she can take a high-flying grab.
That was a huge kick.
It's a great kick.
Struck it beautifully. Late in the game, 30 seconds to go, you're exhausted. It's hard just to calm yourself down enough to get some momentum through the ball and execute the skill. So, fantastic set shot there. And needed the goal as well. She doesn't know there's 30 seconds left, but she knows that we definitely need a goal to keep us alive. So it's very clutch in that situation as well. Just the 24 seconds remaining. Shows again. Just with power in the ruck. Or knock it away. Roberts to Swanson. Up the wing they go. Goal to Rue, just the Eagles' second since quarter time. Rue back onto it again. Got to soccer forward and get some field position. Wakefer back for Rue. Cross now to Lewis. Handball through to Drena. That'll do it. A terrific comeback from Port Adelaide, and they powered on from there. They are right back in finals contention, Port. Winners by 13 points. Crowd at Mineral Resources Park. The home side goes down. There's still a good pocket of power supporters here, though, that have made some noise right throughout the afternoon. The Eagles led it by 19 points at the first change. They looked like they were going to run away with it. A commanding second term from Port Adelaide. They led it at the half by 1, by 8 at three-quarter time. And then they closed it out. Winners by 13 points. Some of their young guns on show yet again, Port Adelaide.
Yeah, wasn't it a fantastic contest by both sides? And I just thought that Port Adelaide really tried to get their game going in the first quarter and couldn't, but they persisted with it. And what they did was they made sure that they upped the pressure, they upped their anticipation of just letting the ball get to ground and then running onto it in the transition.
Let's get down to Bonnie Rayner with Gemma Houghton.
Yes, Gemma Houghton, back in your home state, back-to-back wins. How about that response after quarter time?
Yeah, that was incredible. I'm so proud of the girls. West Coast came out really hard, and for us to bounce back and get that win, I'm so proud of us.
Consecutive wins now, and coming into consecutive matches at home against the Magpies and the Saints. You must be feeling really primed for a finals push.
Yeah, absolutely. We just want to take each game as we get, and our focus this week was getting West Coast. They got us the last 2 games, and we really wanted to get them this time, and yeah, we did, and I'm so happy.
Well, enjoy the win.
Thank you, thanks.
Gemma Houghton with a couple of goals as a start today, but for Port Adelaide, the player of the match, Abby Dowrick, with the 19 disposals, 6 tackles, 10 contested possessions, but 8 clearances as well. Nikki, our Harvey Norman player of the match.
She's just insane. She's a WA girl. She's been fantastic over here when she played for Subiaco. Got to take into Port Adelaide and has just been outstanding. So she's just a bull. She's in and under. She keeps going. Her work rate is insane. And she's got such a great footy IQ. And as we saw there, she's got such strong core that she can just break through any tackles as well.
10 contested possessions is a huge number, and they all came after quarter time as well. So in 3 quarters of football, she really got going. And the fire starter, Gemma Houghton, really got them going, and Derek did the rest.
Selfie time for the power players. It seems obligatory for teams these days after a win to get that done. But it was a great win by Port Adelaide, as Bonnie mentioned. Their second win in a row after taking down the Blues, coming off a difficult block of games. They've got 3 of their last 4 now at home, Port Adelaide. So they can make a very good run. They can certainly make a dash for it. And I think the best thing was after the first quarter for the last 3, they capitalised on their opportunities. So they tweaked that forward 50. They went, the bomb's not working. We've got the tall timber. We've got to find a way to compete a bit harder, get the ball forward, find that intermediary possession, and then get it forward to our forwards one-on-one and just capitalise on opportunities. And that's what they did. I think Welland as well. Those 2 set shots from her were crucial to go back, make the most of that. You know, West Coast put them on the back foot and then nail in the coffin as well, so to speak, at the start of that last quarter. And West Coast fall back into the pack with a game against the Hawks away next week. They've been all right on the road, but today was Port Adelaide winners by 13.
It's history here in the making. We never come to win. We never give in till the flag is out for the taking.
Port Adelaide with the victory. Gemma Houghton certainly got them going early. It was the Ella Roberts show right from the start. As West Coast started brightly, but from there Port Adelaide got it done and won it by 13.
So what did you think
All
of
right, there we go, folks. There we go. Port Adelaide, they hang on to this one, 7-7-49. 13-point winners over the West Coast Eagles, 5-6-36. Tell you what, they were just too good, Port Adelaide. I would have loved if there was maybe another 5 minutes in the game. Well, West Coast Eagles were coming strong at them. Of course, they had a couple of chances there, but the ball just didn't quite bounce right for the Eagles. Whew, I tell you what, it was a good game. I tell you what, look at that mirror image of the worm down there. West Coast came out of the block strong. They got to about a 19-point lead. And then the light switched on for Port Adelaide, who came straight back, kicking 5 straight goals. Then, of course, West Coast kicking one, then Port kicking one. But it was Port Adelaide too strong on the day. 1-3, the Eagles kicked in that final term. 2-2 was Port Adelaide. It was a great game, folks. It was a great game. It was a good scoring match. Of course, perfect football conditions over there in Perth at Mineral Resources Park. Tell you what, it's a beautiful day there. Definitely a little bit different to the prior matches we had watched and listened to today on our lives. Whew. Tell you what a day, what a day, what a game. Football game day is fantastic, folks. You've got to love your football. Don't forget, coming up next, not too far away, in around about 10 minutes' time, we've got the final game on for today. And, of course, that's Carlton taking on the Brisbane Lions. Who's going to win that match? Well, we'll just have to wait and see who's going to win it. It should be a fascinating game. Now, I've just got the ladder updates with that win. Port Adelaide jump up into 8th spot on the ladder now. Played 7 games. They've had 3 wins and 4 losses. 103.7 is their percentage on 12 points. And, of course, West Coast Eagles sitting 1 place above them in 7th position. A game clear on 16 points. 4 victories and 3 losses for the season so far. Oh, I tell you what, it's going to be interesting. Port Adelaide, though, next match that they play, they will come up against Collingwood. So we pretty much will think Port Adelaide will win that game. And, of course, West Coast Eagles, they will face Hawthorn. That's going to be no easy feat. That will. The Hawks are absolutely flying. But the next game, of course, we are going to cover That'll be Carlton taking on the Brisbane Lions. And of course, the Brisbane Lions sitting 5th on the ladder. 5 wins, 1 loss for the season. The reigning premiers are Brisbane, 20 points. They are on equal second position with Richmond, Hawthorn, Adelaide and Fremantle. So Brisbane will be looking for a victory, a win here tonight to secure them second spot on the ladder. Carlton, however, well, they're down there in 14th position. They've only won 2 for the season and had the 4 losses. It's going to be hard work against the reigning premiers, but it's a home game for Carlton, of course, being played at Icon Park in Melbourne. It should be another fantastic game coming up not too far away. We had the poll in who's going to win today's game, and of course 55% went for Port Adelaide. Well done to everyone who was here in the live chat today. As we were live and listened to this game, we got it correct. Well done, everybody. Can we pick the next one right? I think I'll be tipping Brisbane in the next game. But this was a fantastic game here today, where the Eagles jumped out of the box, but Port Adelaide clawed their way back to a fantastic victory over the home side of the West Coast Eagles there in Perth. All right, folks, that's about all I've got for this one. I'm going to wrap this one up. And if you want to continue to listen to the football with everyone, come along, join us, jump over to the channel and you'll see us live in about 10 minutes' time for the next match, where it's the Carlton Blues taking on the Brisbane Lions. As I said, that game coming up live in 12 minutes. I should be live at just a few minutes before the start of that game. So it should be a ripper. Should be an absolute ripper. All right, folks, that's all I got for this game. So until the next game, ciao for now. We'll see you in the next one.